Personal favorite project that Hayden Panettiere was involved in is and always will be A Bug's Life, which for me floats between 1 and 2 in my Pixar ranking. For me personally, in this era when there are so many dumb and ignorant people talking about movies saying it's not that deep, it's just a movie, don't think about it, I think I was raised on stuff like A Bug's Life. Number one thing A Bug's Life has going for it as a kid's movie is it's entertaining, right? It's a good story, it's very colorful, it's a lot of fun, it's a creative story, and it's very funny quite often. Also a movie for children that is introducing them to concepts around class consciousness that's deeply critical of imperialism and capitalism and the exploitation that comes with it. Knowing exactly what Kevin Spacey is now, it's eerie to hear him voicing Hopper, who is a monstrous bully of the ants. A moment in this movie when a few of the grasshoppers are downplaying the idea of a potential revolution, and Hopper takes the life of the two grasshoppers that are questioning that, burying them under a mountain, stands on that mountain, and then delivers a monologue that's very famous, where basically he says, if you let one of them stand up to us, the rest of them can figure out that it's possible. This rhetoric that over the centuries we've seen echoed by the British, by the Israelis, by Americans, by French, by Belgians, really by every single imperial power. It hinges on the idea that the grasshoppers are entitled to half of whatever the ants produce in a given year. If they're having problems gathering those resources, what they're threatened with is violence. Real life parallels to this are endless, but when the Belgians were in the Congo Free State between 1885 and 1908, killing 10 million people, what they did was establish quotas for rubber, and if someone came back without that quota, they would simply cut off their hands or burn down their village. In A Bug's Life, we see a populace that is largely afraid and okay with the exploitation, just trying to put their heads down, but Flick is someone who's an inventor. He's actively trying to help his people be more efficient. I love the way that in this story they use his passion for invention as something that actually starts out as a negative, right? He destroys a lot of the food they have gathered. Then I'll have to find other bugs to help fight for the ants, and not a single ant really believes in him. The story ends up somewhat mirroring Seven Samurai in a comedic way, which inspired so many great westerns, for example, The Magnificent Seven. He doesn't find great warriors, he finds performers that each have their own strengths and weaknesses. The story becomes very much fake it till you make it. The story ends up laying out something very simple. When there is consistent abuse of people and exploitation and violence or threat of violence, eventually they will stand up and say there are far more of us than there are of you. The movie shows the grasshoppers are not particularly intelligent, but they are aware of that fact. At the end of the day, A Bug's Life becomes a story about the proletariat fighting to control the means of production. This is a movie I loved as a little kid because it was funny and made me laugh, but as I got older, I still appreciate this as an adult. The message here at the end of the day is one about class consciousness. It's about all the bugs coming together, not squabbling between themselves about stupid bullshit, and focusing on the main thing.